So a couple of months back, Vivo dropped the Y29 series, giving us both a 4G and a 5G version, and naturally, everyone started talking about the 5G model, which really gets all the attention. But when it came to my part of the world, Vivo only brought the 4G version, and there's basically a vacuum of information about this specific model out here. So I took it upon myself to do it since I'm the nicest person ever.
Somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it.
This thing retails for about 200 USD, so let's see what you actually get for the money. Now, opening the box, Vivo gives you pretty much everything you'd want in a new phone experience. First up, the phone itself, and right out of the box, it looks really nice. It has a clean design, though it's definitely on the bigger, chunkier side. We'll talk about that later. Inside, you're also getting a 44-watt fast charger, which is a pleasant surprise at this price point, and a transparent case, the kind that will probably yellow after a few months, but at least it's there. Overall, it's a pretty solid unboxing experience. Nothing flashy, but complete enough to get you started without needing to buy extras. Starting with the design and build quality, I have the elegant white version here, and I have to give credit where it's due. This phone is a genuinely good looking device. Vivo definitely put some effort into the aesthetic, giving the plastic back a unique subtle pattern that catches light in a nice way, making it look much more premium than it actually is. And that's the key takeaway here. Both the back and the frame look like matte glass and metal, respectively. But when you pick it up and tap on it, you quickly realize that they are made of plastic, which is perfectly fine at this price point. The camera island is also well executed. It has this clean, minimalist look, and there's a small ring LED flash at the top that actually serve multiple purposes. Notifications, charging indicator, that kind of thing. It's a nice touch. Now this phone is noticeably thick like your mama, and that's entirely thanks to the massive 6500 mAh battery inside. Unlike some newer phones using silicon carbon batteries to stay slim, this one sticks to the classic lithium-ion setup, which explains the extra bulk. Now one thing that did disappear from the previous Y28 is a 3.5mm headphone jack. If you're still wired, you're going USB-C or Bluetooth now. On the plus side, you do get stereo speakers, which is great to see on a budget device. Most phones in this range stick with a single downward firing speaker, so having that stereo separation makes a real difference on media consumption. Moving to the front, you're looking at a large 6.68-inch panel. It's an LCD screen, not AMOLED, so you won't get those deep blacks or punchy colors that pop off the screen, but for a budget phone, it still holds its own. Colors are balanced, brightness is decent enough for outdoor use, and honestly, for everyday tasks like scrolling through Instagram, watching TikToks, or replying to messages, it looks pretty good. The resolution though is just 720p, which isn't ideal for a screen this size. You'll notice softer text and slightly less sharp icons if you're coming from a higher res display, but it redeems itself with that 120Hz refresh rate. Animations, scrolling, app transitions, they all feel super smooth. It gives the phone this snappy premium feel that you wouldn't expect from something at this price. Sure, the bezels are a little thick like the girl you fumbled, especially around the chin, but that's pretty normal for budget devices. Once you start using it, your eyes adjust and it stops being a big deal. Overall, even with these limitations, it's a good looking display that delivers a smooth and enjoyable experience for day-to-day use. Now at first glance, the Vivo Y29 looks like it has a dual camera setup, but that's more of an illusion. There's only one actual sensor on the back, a 50MP main camera, and a single 8MP selfie shooter up front. It's a pretty straightforward setup, nothing too fancy, but enough to get you through your day-to-day photography needs. In good daylight conditions, this main camera is surprisingly competent. Images come out sharp and well exposed, capturing a decent amount of detail for a phone at this price point. It is definitely good enough for social media, capturing that memory, or just generally collecting information. However, and this is pretty much universal for budget phones, I wouldn't trust this thing in low-light scenarios. That's why the processing struggles and the details stand to mad, so keep your expectations grounded after sunset. The selfie camera is an 8MP shooter, and honestly, it's a different story. The photos are just okay. They're fine for a quick WhatsApp status update or casual video call, but I'm not going to be winning any awards, and I'm personally not a big fan of the overall output. On the video side, both the rear and front are capped at 1080p, and they are, again, just decent for regular casual recording. The bottom line here is that the Vivo Y29's camera system is a typical budget phone camera. It performs well in optimal light, but quickly falls apart when things get challenging. Now, under the hood, the Vivo Y29 is powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 685, a 6nm processor designed for budget and lower mid-range phones. It is not new, and you've probably seen it in several other affordable devices before, but it's a reliable chip that handles daily tasks well. This chipset is paired with a healthy 8GB of RAM plus support for an extra 8GB of extended RAM using memory expansion, giving you good headroom for multitasking. Storage is also plentiful, with options for 128GB or 256GB and a highly appreciated microSD slot for expansion up to 2TB. Day-to-day performance is smooth, apps open quickly, multitasking is handled well enough, and the interface doesn't stutter or lag during normal use. A lot of that perceived speed comes from the 120Hz display. It makes everything feels more responsive than it actually is. Scrolling, swiping, animations, they all look fluid, and that goes a long way in masking the fact that this isn't a super powerful chip. So while it's a decent performer for the vast majority of users doing social media, web browsing, and light app usage, we need to remember that it's not a powerhouse. It's a typical budget phone. It handles the essentials with a pleasant level of smoothness, but if you're planning on something like heavy gaming, heavy sustained gaming, or intense video editing, you'll quickly see what my grandparents saw in the battle for independence. Now it ships with FunTouch OS 15 on top of Android 15, and I'd say realistically expect one, maybe two major software updates down the road, which means you almost certainly get Android 16, but that's about the ceiling for a budget phone like this. So it's something to keep in mind if multi-year updates are important for you. Now in terms of looks, I've got mixed feelings. FunTouch OS looks good enough on the surface, colorful icons, fluid animations, a clean layout, but it still doesn't quite hit that level of polish or consistency that you get from something like Samsung's One UI or OnePlus Oxygen OS. Now what might annoy you a bit though is the bloatware. There are quite a few pre-installed apps that you'll probably never touch. The good thing is that most of them can be uninstalled, so you can easily clean things up and make the phone feel yours. On the bright side, FunTouch OS offers a lot of customization options. You can tweak the icon shapes, the colors, the animations, and even how your always-on display looks. It gives you the freedom to set things up exactly how you like, which helps balance out the cluttered first impression. Overall, it's a decent software experience, not the cleanest, but definitely functional, responsive, and customizable enough for most people. Now, if there's one thing that the Vivo Y29 absolutely nails, is the battery. This is the phone's biggest selling point, and for good reason. Inside, you're getting a massive 6500 mAh battery, which instantly puts it among the top performers in its class, only coming second to the Redmi 15's gigantic 7000 mAh cell. Now in day-to-day use, this thing is a beast. You can easily stretch it across 2 full days on moderate use. Social media, a few videos, some calls, and some casual gaming without worrying about running out of juice. And even if you're a heavy user, the Vivo Y29 still won't let you down. You'll comfortably get through a full day without needing to top up. Realistically, this is one of those phones where you plug in before bed, wake up at 100%, and don't think about charging again until the next night. Charging is handled through 44W fast charging, and yes, Vivo includes the charger right in the box, which is becoming more of a luxury these days. It is not the fastest charging you'll find, but it's quick enough to top up that huge battery in about an hour and a half, which is respectable considering its size. So the final question, the big one, would you buy this phone? Well, the Vivo Y29 drops right into a congested field, running amongst the tens of affordable budget phones that are available to consumers this year. Objectively, it's a viable option that deserves to be considered, primarily because it delivers two major things really well. First, the phone just looks really nice even if the materials are plastic. Second, and most importantly, that gigantic 6500 mAh battery is a major and undeniable selling point. Everyone cares about great battery life, and this phone delivers the best-in-class endurance that guarantees a comfortable 2 days of use for most people. The compromises are there, but despite that, I'd say that it's a phone that deserves to be on your shortlist. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm Milan and this is Fuzitech. Subscribe.